This fortress is fake. This is a series of videos about the city of Fortaleza in Brazil. There are plenty of videos of tourists and gringos showing the beaches of Fortaleza. But let's start with a little bit of history about the city, and then I'll also show you some places worth visiting. In the meantime, I'll walk around the corner here and see if I can get inside. The coat of arms of the city of Fortaleza shows this kind of castle or fortress, because the city started with the construction of a fortress. Not this fortress that they are renovating currently or fixing up a little bit. In the original construction they used the carnaúba palm tree, but now it's been replaced by concrete. And these are some of the old bricks. The city of Fortaleza is located in the northeast of Brazil, in the state of Ceará, basically in the middle of the desert. In Portuguese, the meaning of the word Fortaleza is fortress. The earliest Portuguese settlement was established near the mouth of the river Ceará in 1603. There they built the fort of Santiago, and the settlement was named New Lisbon. But 1 year later it was abandoned because of a period of drought. In 1612, the Portuguese constructed the fortress of San Sebastian on the same site as Santiago, on the right bank of the river Ceará. The Portuguese fort continued until 1637, when the Dutch, having established themselves in Rio Grande do Norte, sent a force to Ceará. They landed in the Bay of Mucuripe and received help from the local Indians. The Indians sent about 200 warriors, and they conquered the small fortress without any problem. In 1644, the Dutch were expelled from Ceará by the Indians. In 1649 the Dutch returned. Matthias Beck left Recife in March, and his expedition reached Mucuripe Bay on April 3rd of 1649. They chose a location on the left bank of the stream called Pajeú to make a new fortress, and they called this fortress Fort Schoneborg. And this was located on top of the mountain, or probably more like a dune, called Marajaitiba. This is the same location where today you will find the fake Fortaleza. The Pajeú stream is still visible behind the cathedral and the Mercado Central, but in many parts it runs under the streets. On old maps you can clearly see how the city center grew within the boundaries of the river Pajeú and the ocean. I have another video that shows you around the old city center. It's called the Free Walking Tour Fortaleza. In this series I will walk through Praia de Iracema, and then I will drive along the Beira-Mar and will end up in the end of Praia do Futuro. This new location for the fortress was better than the old one, because from here they could also see the Bay of Mucuripe, which is on the left side of this image. And on the right side you can see the river Ceará and the location of the old fortress. So before we go around the corner and explore the Fortaleza, as I mentioned, the stream Pajil is visible on old maps, such as this map from 1649 or this map from 1726. The stream runs behind the Mercado Central and the cathedral. The crossing here is probably one of the oldest in the city. The reason why the Dutch returned in 1649 to the state of Ceará is because they were looking for silver in the mountains behind. Unfortunately, the quality was not that good and they had difficulty separating the lead from the silver. So here we are on the other side of the only wall of the fortress of Fortaleza. And look at this. You can walk right in. This is not a fortress. This is just a facade. This is just Hollywood. Inside the fortress there is a small museum. It has these maps that I've already shown and some paintings. But mostly this museum is about the military that is currently based at the fortress. I would say this is not super interesting for tourists. And it's also difficult to know when it's open. So I came there on 3 different days. At first they said, oh yeah, it's open tomorrow. And then the next day I went and they had some kind of special event, so it was closed. Yeah, and finally I was able to go into the little museum. If you go there, yeah, I would just walk up to the military and ask if you can go in, and then there's a sort of a reception and they'll point you that way, and then there you have to ask to go into the museum, or maybe you can just walk around, I don't know. So the Dutch actually left in 1654 and the current fake fortress was built in 1812 and is called Fortress of Our Lady of the Assumption. The original design was to have a fortress with all 4 sides. Well, but as you can see, in reality they only built the north side, the side facing the ocean. This is not a ruin, this is the final thing that they built. And that's why I call this a fake Fortaleza or a fake fortress, because you can just go around the corner and you can just walk right in. I mean, I believe in the moon landing, I believe the earth is round, but yeah, I don't believe this is a fortress. Anyway, this is the end of this video. I hope you'll subscribe and that you'll watch the next videos as well.